Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something that we don't always think about when lifting, particularly, our first couple years of lifting. But the idea is stepping back, and when you say there are muscles you don't like to train, or particularly exercises you don't like to train, you need to ask yourself why that is. All right, it's one thing if it's injuring you. It's another if it's because it's really difficult. It makes you feel weak. Plenty of examples I could think of would be some guys don't like to train curls. They don't like to train arms because it feels like a small muscle. They care about strength, so then they ignore it, and then people, comment years later, why don't you have big arms? Why don't you look like you lift, even though they're big everywhere? Because they just don't like it, or because when they've curled, they get forearm pain too because they didn't learn how to curl correctly early on, and all sorts of problems. Or guys who don't like to train their legs, right? Because it's hard, it's difficult, and they're like, I only care about looking good in the mirror anyways, without realizing that, what they see in the mirror in the front is not representative of what everyone sees, who sees them from a distance, who sees them from behind, all these other things, and they don't realize that. And they focus on that, and then they end up being a meme where people make fun of that you skip leg day, bro. And they lose a lot of the health benefits because the muscles in the legs are the biggest muscles in the body. They give the most health benefits when you train them. Right? They literally make you healthier, helps you live longer, helps you fight cancer, diabetes, all these things. Okay, so those sort of things. But then also sometimes our weak links. A lot of times, and I did this for years. Until really the last year or two, I started really benching wider. I used to only close grip bench, and I built my close grip bench way up. Didn't always give me the best chest development, but it didn't matter because I've got a big rib cage. But it ultimately limited what I could bench, and I used to say, well, it's really uncomfortable, it hurts. And I would use the fact that I have long arms as an excuse. Okay? Oh, it hurts my shoulders. Well, it doesn't really hurt the shoulders, it hurts your pec tendons because you're forcing the pecs into a deeper stretch. And I've had clients who come to me and they're the same way, and when you take them over to wider grip benching, which is really what they need for overall development and to build the bigger bench that they actually want, they don't like it. And when they miss reps or they can't do it because they're more inconsistent with their ability to perform on it, they get upset, they get demoralized, they want to go back to close grip benching. And it's unfortunate because when you're a coach and they're paying you, you've got to weigh out. Do you need to tell them, no, you really need to stick out the wider grip, and then have them terminate you as a coach when you really can be helping them with all their areas, right? And then they quit. Or do you let them go back over to their closer grip, even though it is not going to give them the strength and the balance that they want, right? That it's not going to get them where they want. But the question becomes, why is this something we don't enjoy doing? We don't enjoy doing it because it exposes our weaknesses. Okay, benching with a wider grip, when you have strong triceps or strong front delts, but you have weak pectorals, feels awkward. It feels extremely slow off the chest. When that tendon hurts, sometimes you then think, oh yeah, it's my shoulder hurting, but it may not be if you're benching correctly. And with proper loads and you have good muscle balance in other areas, it probably isn't. But it may feel like it because those tendons finally get stretched. But it just feels awkward and uncomfortable, and people don't want to do it. People don't like to feel weak. They want to do a version of the lift that lets them feel the strongest. They can move the heaviest weight, even if in the long term they'd be better in the other. Same thing when maybe we don't like incline benching. Okay, we don't like incline benching. Why? Because our upper chest is weak, maybe our shoulders are weak, right? And we also don't like that deep stretch it puts it at, and we don't like it, so then we just skip it. But man, when it comes to the way that you look, an incline bench brings a lot to the table, doesn't it? Yeah? How about your ability to get weights moving fast out of the bottom of a bench? Yeah, it's a good accessory for that. Okay? People don't like to do it. And other people, they don't like to do rows because they feel weak. They feel out of breath. Coach, don't make me do high rep rows? Can I just do some heavy rows? Can I just do some lat pull downs? Because doing any sort of volume with rows, maybe they're really out of shape and they really don't like working all those big muscles in the back for those reps, especially if they've got to stand, right? Because they're not fit and they don't like it. Hey, people don't like to feel not fit. But really, they should be doing this. And oftentimes the people who struggle with this, it's because they have a low fitness level. Or it's because their back really is weak, that upper back is. And they don't like the way that it feels when those weaknesses get exposed. And so therefore, what do? We do the things that we like. We do the things, and here's the thing. We tend to like what we're naturally good at. There's a tendency there, not saying that's always the case. So if we're good at it and we like it, we tend to do more of it. And if it's a weak link, especially when we're on our own and no one's telling us to do it or we don't see the need to do it, we skip it and ignore it. And therefore it becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger weakness. And the longer you do this, the more imbalanced you get. The more imbalanced you get. And then what happens? It just perpetuates. And then when you get to where the imbalance is so significant that anytime you touch those movements or those muscles or those variations, you feel so weak and so uncomfortable that you don't even want to be seen doing them, you don't want to do them. Okay. Over the years, this leads to perpetual imbalances. What I would suggest to people is the things like this that you are not good at, you should put more focus on. Okay? In my case, for example, curls these days, right? Biceps. My weakest muscle group. And I've neglected them too much, so guess what? They're not fun. It exposes my weaknesses. People see it on the camera, oh my God, just like people are going to see you at the gym. But if we don't ever address them, they don't ever get better. But keep in mind, the opposite approach can create imbalances. It causes us to get injured, causes us to stay way below our potential. Maybe you never develop the chest that you want. Maybe you never develop the legs you want. You end up being incomplete. And what I would suggest to people is we have to learn to embrace and love the things that we're bad at in the gym if we really want to achieve good balance. And we can do that. We just have to tell ourselves that we enjoy doing it. And if you can convince yourself you enjoy doing it and then you start to see progress on it, you will legitimately enjoy doing it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.